Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anita Stoudemire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Better Love Movement podcast. So I am back, and I am interviewing all kinds of amazing guests once again this month. I had a couple of solo episodes there, but I am back bringing you some of the most amazing social media influencers, coaches, other therapists, writers, I mean, you name it, other podcast hosts, you name it, and I am bringing it to you. So this week, we are in episode number 119, and it is an important one. It is entitled, How to Stay Safe When Dating. So today I am talking to Jade Bianca of Dating After Divorce. So Jade Bianca is a dating coach and a matchmaker at Dating After Divorce. Dating After Divorce was created to provide divorcees with effective tools, communication, and insight to find a worthwhile partner. She's passionate about helping divorcees find their confidence in dating again. Jade loves assisting clients domestically and abroad in their dating journey. Welcome, Jade.
Hi, Anita. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. So let's jump right in. Tell me and my listeners a little bit more about your company and your platform, Dating After Divorce. What made you want to start working with divorcees?
So I created Dating After Divorce through personal experience and that of my loved ones, close friends, and family as well, because I saw a kind of an area that was a bit of an issue for transitioning from the we to the me. A lot of the people that I work with have been in marriages for 5, 10, 15 plus years. And as you know, and have experience with people, I'm sure, the dating scene has changed quite a bit. And so I wanted to help assist in that transition. And I love working with people. I think that divorcees have gone through something very difficult, but they have this pivoting point in their lives to make the change for the good. I'm really, really excited to do what I do and lucky to work with the people I work with.
Awesome. Well, I know I'm a divorcee, but it's been 18 years since my divorce. So I've been out here dating that whole time. But I totally hear what you're saying about if a person's been in a relationship for a long time. So let's say a decade or more, you are exactly right. Things have changed dramatically. One of the things we've seen change, the biggest change is this whole idea of online dating or app dating. So we're seeing more and more of that. But let's talk a little bit about some of the favorite tips that you have for ladies who are divorced and they want to get back out there. What are some ways you suggest that will keep them safe?
Yeah, that's a great question, Anita. So I kind of break this into 3 different categories, if you will: privacy, safety, and also emotional safety. So we can start with, so for privacy, what I suggest, I mean, it's April, what day is it? April 4th, 2021. A lot of people have their vaccine. They're super excited about getting their vaccine. Actually, Anita, people that are showing they're vaccinated on dating apps are getting more likes. I don't know if you've seen that.
I did not.
So I'm very excited if you have your vaccine, but what I suggest is not taking a photo of that and putting it on social media or your dating app. Or if you do, just block out that information because it does have your full name and your date of birth. So scammers could be out there. Also, something I suggest is to not put pictures of your children. I have a lot of clients and close friends and family that are very proud to be loving fathers and mothers, which I think is amazing, but also you don't really know who's on the other side of that screen and what their background is. So try and be safe in that way of not putting those people in your profile pictures. I think something people don't think about is when they take like a photo in front of their house, say that someone's a new homeowner. And you're really excited about your brand new home, as you should be. But you need to be careful as to not have that house number in the background. I think something for privacy as well is to not overshare about like your neighborhood and your job, just because in an ideal world, you could trust the person that you're talking to, but as with online dating, you don't really know a lot of these people off the bat. So just kind of be careful of that oversharing. I think you and I spoke about before is your photos that you upload on social media and on dating apps contain metadata. And I referred to this, if your listeners want to check out this article I wrote, it's called Matchmaking versus Dating Apps at datingafterddivorce.com. So it tells you in a step-by-step guide to how to remove the metadata. Because I didn't know if you know about this, Anita, but I didn't know that you can find the exact location where that photo was taken. And if you're a woman and you have children or you're living alone, you don't want these people having this information about where that photo is. So yeah, that's for privacy. So for safety, as you know, safety should be a consideration, especially for females who are dating. So going into a first date, there's a lot of things that you should consider just for your safety. I think that COVID had a bit of silver lining to it, in that it. You're like, okay, Jade.
I agree.
we won't talk about the 10 pounds I gained. It's fine. The silver lining of COVID is that it's kind of it's forced people to kind of take a step back from the rushed pace of dating. And instead of like rushing into a physical connection, you've had to take your time and say, hey, is this person, quote unquote, COVID worthy? Are they trustworthy? Can I meet them in person? Are they who they say they are? And so one thing I suggest is, after you're done talking on the app, say that you want to switch to texting or phone call. I think you and I had spoken about giving them your Google number, a Google phone number. And so by giving them a Google phone number, which is free, it also adds that layer separation for your safety, because there are ways of people finding your information through your phone number.
That's right.
And then from there, I suggest having a phone call and or a video call before meeting in person, because I think one of the worst things about modern dating is that you don't know if those photos are them.
It's unfortunate.
And those photos
happens.
Could be,
10 years.
And those photos could be from like 10 years ago. Yeah. And so having, again, silver lining of COVID, hey, let's have a quick video chat just to see. So yeah, the list goes on, but I think a lot of women do know, but there's always a good way to remind someone to do your research on someone before. So Google can be a lady's best friend.
And we've talked about that exhaustively. Like that's one of the main things. I talk about it in my book, chapter 13, is your number one responsibility, ladies. And that is to protect yourself. Like protect yourself. You're not going to give that over to another person. That's your number one responsibility. And so we're not going to assume that this person, is going to have my best interests at heart. You're going to have your best interests at heart. So we have talked about that on this platform over and over. Like, we must protect ourselves. We're living in a different world. Now, I'm of the age where, 20, 30 years ago, when dating was fun, okay, and I remembered when dating was fun, right? And we did a whole lot of things then that I would never do now. but we also didn't have, smartphones. We didn't have the internet like we do now. We didn't have app dating. We met people out, and we met people through other people we knew. So,
Yeah,
we had some sort of checks and balances there that we don't have now. So, those are all great,
absolutely.
great tips. So, ladies, I hope you all are listening to that. Okay. Um, you offer matchmaking service through your company. Tell me a little bit more
Mhm.
about this.
Yeah, so we offer date coaching, dating profile assistance, and then also matchmaking. And so I actually meet a lot of people, Anita, that have never heard of a matchmaker. They don't
Mm,
know that we exist, and they're like, I thought that was only on that Netflix series, Indian
right.
Matchmaking. So basically, what we do is we match people upon compatibility,
Hmm.
life goals alignment, core values. Also, timing is a big thing,
Right.
as well as intentions. We do compatibility upon that, because I think one thing about online dating is that you don't always know someone's intentions when you're meeting.
Right.
And also, people are at different stages in their lives, and
Hmm.
someone might be just looking for a casual friend while you might be looking for a life partner.
Right.
And most of my clients are between the ages of, say, mid 30s to late 50s, and at
Hmm.
that time you're kind of deciding, do I want to start a family, do I want to add to my family, do I
Hmm.
not want a family? And so these are kind of like the nitty gritty of details that you don't really get into until later on. Also, as you know, like over the past 5 years, people have been very polarized with political standing, and so I've
Right.
had a lot of people saying, like, I'm not going to date on this side of the aisle.
Yep.
So
Yep.
there are certain non-negotiables. So I really love what I do. I think
Hmm.
it's a little bit different compared to dating apps, because going back to even when like Match.com was first established, people say they want certain things, but when it
Hmm.
comes down to it, their actions kind of speak differently. And so
Right.
I'm kind of that buffer in between. And so one thing I tell people, Anita, who are getting out of a divorce is date someone that's the complete opposite of your ex, and
Yep.
like give different people a shot, because your
Right.
taste may have changed. Non-negotiables when you're 20, 25 might be a lot different when you're 45,
That's
and
right.
giving people a chance to come into your life and experience new things, I think is a blessing that not a lot of us get to see. So it's an important thing to remember.
Okay. Interesting. Um, I am curious to know, um, when you're working with folks who have been divorced, kind of where they are in their stage of healing, because that's something I think that's
Mhm.
kind of important too. You have some folks who will leave a marriage, and especially a long-standing marriage, and you have to kind of, I guess, talk with them and find out kind of where they are in their stage of healing. I think that's really important. And if they're ready, like, how do you determine if they're
Mhm.
really ready to move into a new relationship?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, because, as you know, the healing trajectory is different for everyone. There's no
Right.
timeline as to when you could be ready to move on. And even if you do go out on a date, you might realize that, holy crap, I don't think I'm ready for this.
Right.
So I don't take every person that comes to me to be a client, whether it's matchmaking or dating profile assistance.
Mhm.
I have wonderful people like you that I can send them to,
Mhm. Yep.
and another therapist, because I don't specialize in that, and I think it's a
Mhm.
huge part of healing and growing. That without addressing previous issues, and kind of looking within yourself, you can't
Mhm.
ensure that you can move on in a healthy way.
Right.
And so there are plenty of people that I've told to take their time and come back to me when they're ready, because
Mm,
I don't think you could do yourself an injustice as much as about rushing into another thing,
that's
because
right.
I think a lot of us lose pieces of ourselves as we stay in a relationship, say it is a 15-year marriage,
Right.
and because you are making concessions, you are trying to be the we, and so you owe it to yourself to find yourself again.
Right. Right. And statistically, I have already shared with everyone that with each remarriage, that chance for failure goes up. So we really, really need to be careful. That's something that when I'm either counseling or coaching someone who's been through a divorce, I say, look, you don't want a second, a third, a fourth marriage. I have coached people that had 3 and 4 marriages. And I'm like,
Mhm.
look, it's you. There's something going on with you. So whether it's something you're doing or not doing, but um the only common denominator is you. And so we gotta,
Yeah.
self-awareness is key. I know everyone knows my story. It took 5 years. Like for 5 years, I was invisible to men after my divorce. And I
Mhm.
realize now that I needed every minute of that. Like at
Yeah.
year 2, I was like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good. But no, I needed every minute of
Yeah.
those 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, divorces are like snowflakes. They're all different.
Right.
But I think especially, I think say some women in particular, when you are in a marriage, say that you are a mother as well, you're kind of doing everything on the outside as a career
Right.
woman and then coming home and running everything there. And so once you do kind of establish that independence, the thought of getting married again and kind of being a caretaker for a third child or however many
Yeah.
children you have,
Yep.
you're kind of like, do I really want that? So I think that it's a good opportunity to take a step back and be
Hmm.
honest with your intentions. And I think that's one thing that might be missing from modern dating
Right.
is that we're kind of inundated with a lot of matches and we're overwhelmed, and there's always the idea that there's someone better and grass
Mm,
is greener on the other side,
mm,
when in actuality we need to be like, okay, am I the person I would want to be dating? Like, am
right.
I being honest with myself? Am I being honest with this person sitting next to me? So yeah, there's a lot of
Wow.
things we need to address in the dating
It
world.
is. Wow. Yeah, we could have this conversation for hours because
Yes.
yes, I often tell my platform, that I'm out here dating just like them. I am using some of my personal experiences when I'm creating content, when I'm talking to them. And, again, I've been divorced for quite some time and it took about 5 years to really heal from that. And I do take my time. If I enter a relationship and it doesn't work out, I take my time. I make sure I'm in a good place. I do my inner work and then I kind of dip my toe out here again. But yes, that we could have a whole much longer conversation just about the dating landscape period. There's
Mhm.
a lot of different themes going on right now. Some people are losing hope, and I hope that this platform is a beacon of hope to let women, specifically know that there are some wonderful men out here, and wonderful women, but I want them to continue to grow and learn. And as you said, kind of know what you want. I think that's really important and be honest about that. So that's
Mhm.
super, super important.
Yeah.
Um, this has been a great conversation. I know my ladies are going to appreciate this, but yes, your safety, ladies, is super important. It's your number one responsibility. We can't expect other people to prioritize that. We've got to prioritize that.
100%. And actually, there are a few more tips that I had for safety
Hmm.
if you have time
Oh,
and you
yeah.
can. So we said do your research before the dates.
Hmm.
Always meet your date in public,
Mm.
even if they are a great cook and they're
Right.
cooking something at your house.
Yep.
Say that that's going to be great leftovers for them.
Yep.
Um, if they offer to pick you up, as we discussed, and like in later days you could have had them pick you up, but you don't
Right.
know this person, and so the
Right.
best way is to meet them at the public place.
Hmm.
um you should always trust your gut. I think that
Mm.
especially, I think men and women have this, but especially as women, we have this intuition that if something's off,
Right.
we need to listen to that.
That's
And so
right.
whether it's like a red flag and something not lining up on what they're telling you about like previous history,
Mhm.
or kind of being a little pushy at first,
Mm.
that's something that you should listen to.
That's
My
right.
personal experience, I solo traveled a lot over the years, and I always had a small thing of mace with me.
Okay. That's
And
right.
I'm never saying to do that for no reason, but I'm saying that physically speaking, a lot of
Yep.
women can't take on a grown man.
Right.
And so
That's right.
if you have mace in your purse, that might be a good backup. So
I
it's 2021.
have a personal stun gun. Okay. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, I sure do, because like you said, my protection is my number one priority.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's just a
Yep.
different world.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I loved all of these tips, ladies. I hope you took notes, because you're out there dating just like I am. You've got to use your intuition. Your gut is going to be your friend in this case. Be smart about it. Right? I know you'd love to be in a fantastic relationship, but I want you to be smart about it. Okay. And keep yourself safe.
Mhm.
I just want to take the time to say thank you so much to Jade Bianca for being on the show today. Is there a product or a service that you'd like to tell us more about, or that the listeners should go check out?
Yes, I have a free 43-page Dating After Divorce Doesn't Have to Suck
Mm,
interactive reflection journal. I'm very, very excited to share this. So I pretty much turned my coaching program into an interactive reflection journal to
hmm
help divorcees rediscover who they are, what they want, and how to get there. So feel free to get your free copy at datingafterdivorce.com, and I'm really excited to share it.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Ladies, if you are not subscribed to this podcast, please do so now, so that you can be alerted every Monday when a new episode comes out. Please do me the biggest favor ever. Rate and review this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Your ratings help me to continue to grow the podcast and offer more free content to you. If you're watching this podcast video on YouTube, please do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up and share it if it brought you value. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast, you can send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also reach out to me through my website, www.betterlovemovement.com, to get more information on love mentoring and other services offered. My products are there. The book is there. Please head over to Amazon and check it out. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, stay open to love. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.